You guys want to watch Power Rangers?
Oh, no.
Only if we watch every single one.
No! Welcome back to episode 25, Life's a Masquerade. We start off on a terrifying frame.
Just like a really close up of a big, like a mask that they're hanging up on the wall.
It's like Majora's Mask, the moon.
Right, it's, really scary.
This is the Halloween episode, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching it in winter.
And everybody's all, setting it up. There's just a costume party that they're going to have.
Yep.
And Bulk and Skull get told to, put up some stuff, and they knock over some chairs, and then the chairs knock over paint onto Bulk, and he's starting to cry.
Yeah, they somehow he Rube Goldberg's the entire room. He launched paint off a ladder.
They have an aura about them that creates embarrassment. like it's not even accident prone anymore. It's embarrassment prone.
Yeah, just anything they do. They're not even being that bad. They just don't want to help out.
No,
they're not actively antagonizing.
No, this time Kimberly makes fun of them just for being there. She said, "Hey, you guys look fucking stupid."
Yeah, Trini's you look like a ghost.
No, he gets covered in white paint. Someone says you look like a ghost, and Trini says that would be awful. So I guess that's nice.
I guess so. It would be awful if Bulk died.
I guess.
She's still laughing at him. So.
And he's almost crying over there.
And Angela is back. She was in 10 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Zach flirts with her for a minute, and then he
shot
tries it again.
She still wants nothing to do with him. She says, "Go back to your tune, Tut," because Zach is dressed up as King Tut.
Yeah, you're jumping too far ahead. You're jumping too far ahead.
Yeah.
And so Rita says she's going to send a monster to the costume party. Just blow the building up. Just drop a bomb.
Yeah,
on
you can just.
Yeah, we see later in the episode she can cause immense damage to this town.
Yeah.
She could blow up the juice box.
But she makes a monster, and it's just Frankenstein.
Yeah, Baron says, "Guys, I don't think I like the clay monsters anymore because they're doing the typical Finster pan over all the clay monsters."
I like when they get the knight he's just some kind of lore.
They find someone.
Yeah.
And as you said that, just a flash of light, and it's Frankenstein. It's just Frankenstein.
A guy in a hat. There's nothing. It's the worst designed monster we've ever seen.
They have, for a reason we'll disclose later, they have a different costume in both the Japanese and American versions of this. Because, these got to be around all the people.
Yeah.
And the American version looks so bad.
Yeah. It's so bad.
It's just
bad.
not good.
Yeah, and so they get to the costume party. Billy is Sherlock Holmes. Kim is a princess of sorts. Jason is a squire or Robin Hood, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Zach is a pharaoh, and Trini is Pocahontas.
Yeah. But before the costume party, Bulk and Skull are trying to figure out what they're doing.
The best Bulk and Skull montage yet.
That is so good. Bulk's in this jiggling machine.
Yeah, he's hooked up his waist, his crotch to this vibrating machine. It's so questionable. The first
so
10 seconds of footage on his face as he's vibrating.
And then they try and be like Peter Pan. They try and be a horse.
We see Bulk's hair, which just
flowing.
Is that it's a wig for the Peter Pan suit, or is that his hair?
That's definitely his real hair.
Because he's always got
hair
that
coming
weird
out the side.
pointy leather hat on or a bandana.
He's always got hair coming out the side of the bandana.
He does he puts it back in a bun sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's
I think this is real
I
hair.
wonder why he's not showing off his gray hair.
Yeah, it's nice hair.
Yeah.
And then they're both Elvis, and Skull says, "I'm young Elvis, and you're old Elvis."
Yeah.
And Bulk likes it. He's like, "Oh,
yeah." And they just start dancing.
They're kind of
we get 30 seconds of just them dancing. It's great.
And then Skull accidentally kicks him in the butt, and Bulk goes, "Oh, my back." And he falls over, and they ditch the costumes. They just show up in regular clothes.
At this point, I'm I hope we get a Bulk and Skull episode one day.
I want them to just have more fun.
We will. Yeah, it would be the cheapest episode to make.
The whole Elvis costumes. They have the costumes, and they choose not to wear them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe he got a hernia or something.
My back.
Oh. And then so they're at the party, and Ernie's a vampire.
He's Dracula.
Yeah, and then Alpha shows up, and they're like, "Alpha, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm in a costume." And
No, he says, "What costume?" He's just there. He was ready to be revealed as a robot.
Yeah, it was startling to see him outside of the. We've never seen him outside of the garage.
The garage. Yeah. And so the Frankenstein monster walks in. Mm-hmm. And there's a girl dressed as Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Which means there is someone else at this party
who was supposed to be
Frankenstein because she's excited to dance. And she's like, "Come on, baby, we have to dance." Yeah. And they he's trying to punch her in the head, and they're dancing against the dumb Frankenstein.
He's very bad at this.
This is so weird because this monster gives the Megazord to run for his money.
Yeah.
But this random woman is dodging his attacks.
And like he was trying to go after like Kim and Trini, and they were like, "Oh, let's dance," and they moved 2 feet to the left, and then he tried to tackle them, and he missed. And then he tried to fight Jason and Zach.
Why is he so bad now?
The bride took him away. I don't know.
But just off to the side a little bit, Alpha is getting like fondled.
Yeah,
like, these women love Alpha. They're like, "Wow, you're so sexy, you robot."
And so the Frankenstein guy gets mad at this girl, and then he gets mad at Bulk and Skull.
Well, Bulk and Skull are the only people to come to the girl's aid.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like he tosses her and they catch her, and then Skull shoots a little like suction cup dart at his head. Like the Power Rangers don't even care about this.
No, but everybody's like, "Who's this asshole guy?"
Everyone just thinks it's a guy.
They're quite chivalrous.
At this point, it's just a tall guy that hit a woman, and it's like, all right, beat him up.
Yeah. And so Billy is a detective. So he goes out.
He does not break character.
Yeah.
He's like progressing through the plot and taking puffs on his pipe.
Yeah.
Like
he's committing to the bit harder than anyone has ever
committing to the bit so hard that he's now addicted to tobacco.
And so the Frankenstein gets lost. It's crazy. It tries chasing
Bulk and Skull out of the
Bulk and Skull
party.
And then I think it tries fighting like Zach or whatever. And it just wanders off into the caves.
Yes, because
Billy follows it there and he discovers that Rita's plot.
It's returning found super putty.
Yeah.
Which is just brown clay.
It's just poop with a little
like
hair.
a lot of brown clay.
Yeah. And so they're like collecting it.
They're shoveling it,
But Billy like finds this out and he fights the Frankenstein.
Yeah, but this is like the most. Whenever they're in the cave, it's like the most cursed footage. It's like live leak found footage of like these guys in caves and just like shoveling poop.
A circular door slides and Rita's just like, "I'm here." And so Billy, the human, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, we get a great shot of him entering the cave.
Yes,
it just looks the best cinematography of the show.
So he's following shitty Frankenstein costume, and he's like, interesting. And then it turns around and he's like, "I've got to fight," and he morphs, and then it's good Frankenstein costume.
Yeah, because
like instantly.
Yeah, but even good costume, like there's no paint on his neck; it's just flesh color.
And he's got like these cool red eyes.
And he takes out the bolts from his neck and uses them as nunchucks, which is pretty cool.
Pretty good weapon. Pretty good weapon.
And then they get all the super putty collected together, and Rita's now flying on a meatball.
And
she starts an earthquake and like destroys 5 houses.
Rita is Italian.
So what they've been forming this giant meatball turd this whole time. That's all it is, just making a ball.
And so Rita flying out of the earth on the meatball splits Angel Grove in two, which has happened like 7 times.
Someone's house just turned into a sinkhole.
And it was like a house they just rebuilt after like Green with Evil.
Yeah.
And so she's just standing above the earth. And like I know that the citizens know who she is and that she's just like a horrifying force, but like she's much closer than she's ever been. Yeah. She's flying at like the 3rd floor of a building height. Yeah. She's like, "I'll destroy the earth." And you know,
they could have had special forces take her out.
They could have shot her.
There's no military in Angel Grove. They've been cut off. It's like Arkham City. They're like wall it off. Let them do their own thing.
And so everyone's running out of the juice bar, and Ernie says something like really sensible, where he's like, "Guys, we live in California. Earthquakes are normal."
Yeah, it's just a regular earthquake.
Like, it's just a regular tremor.
Yeah. Well, we saw in Green with Evil when Goldar's huge. Like, there's earthquakes.
Remember there's an earthquake every other episode.
Yeah.
And
but Rita says, "I love to get nasty. It's so nice."
And it's clearly a sentence they invented to match her mouth movements when she's speaking Japanese. Mm-hmm. And it really just threw us for a loop there.
Yeah. Kind of a weird thing to say.
And so Tommy, the reason he wasn't with them is that, I don't think we said this, that he was late because he's working on his costume.
Yeah.
And so he finally gets to the juice bar, doesn't notice the earthquake, I guess.
No, he's like leaving the costume store, and then he gets attacked by putties.
I thought it was regardless, he gets attacked by putties in the open.
Yeah.
He fights them off for a minute, and then Zordon's like, "Hey, you're really hard to reach." He doesn't say that, but I mean, come on.
Because at this point, the Power Rangers are now fighting the Frankenstein monster. Because Billy came back and he was like, "Oh my god, that was a Rita monster." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and he got big fast.
And he starts kicking the Megazord's ass.
Yep.
The worst design monster, but the strongest yet.
Easily. And I get it, they have to up the stakes every episode or two because it's just like how shows work.
But they go through the I don't know, the tank mode. They go through the Megazord. They go the sword. They go
and then they get
the dragon.
Tommy shows up. He plays the flute. He gets the dragon sword. They combine, and he's still kind of beating him up a little. Yeah. And then they get the drill, the power staff, and they just drill a hole in his chest.
Drill
and
his
you
intestines
see it.
out.
They like drew it on.
Yeah, they like take there's like a PNG of the monsters. They start editing. They erase his stomach, and there's a few red squigglies around.
And Tommy goes, "Well, that's one bad case of indigestion." And then the dragon sword's just like standing in the background.
Yeah, no, it's not even moving because they just clearly placed the figure really close to the camera. And so he explodes, and Rita's mad again. It's like, get over it. You've done this 20 times.
She's got a headache again. It's her own fault.
She just
either take medicine or use better monsters back to back, or just give up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can't complain.
We go back to the party. Everyone in Angel Grove is just oddly like very okay with going back to social gatherings.
5 people's homes just got ruined, but you know.
Yeah.
There's, not to go too far back, but there's a scene during the fight where the Frankenstein lifts up, I think it's just the Megazord.
Oh, yeah.
Lifts it up over his head, throws it through an entire apartment building.
Yeah.
That's 500 people
this
dead.
Happens
Picks
twice.
it up, does it again. That's brutal.
We never see any emergency services ever.
They cut them off.
Yeah,
if you're injured in Angel Grove, there's no insurance.
I guess there's no taxes anymore, though. They don't have any
all their money
government
is being
function.
spent on juice.
Guys, I gotta pack up. I'm gonna move to Angel Grove real quick.
It's just become a libertarian haven. There's a threat of your house exploding every other day.
Yeah. I wonder if any time like these just take place in the same day.
Yeah.
Like Greenwood Evil, surely some of that was just back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, it had to be. Yeah.
There's got to be a timeline of this show. I mean, we haven't seen them.
This is the Halloween episode, so we're in October.
Time progresses. When did they start? I wonder.
I gotta imagine summer,
California, so we don't see the seasons.
Yeah, will be like there'll be a Christmas special in like 10 episodes.
Oh,
probably.
Maybe, yeah.
8 weeks away, roughly.
Yeah.
Right, 8 weeks between Halloween and Christmas, Danny.
Yeah,
roughly.
Fair
okay,
enough.
Back at the costume party, Alpha is still getting fondled.
Yeah.
And
his head spins at some point. I don't remember when.
They're like,
weird.
oh, Alpha.
But it like 360 is going all the way up.
Yeah.
And then Tommy shows up with his costume. And he's the Frankenstein. Like, it's perfectly
the
Frankenstein monster.
Yeah. And also just Jason David Frank is the guy who was playing the Frankenstein earlier, too.
That's just so insensitive, though.
It's
like,
crazy.
How many people must have died?
And then you were just okay going back to the party?
Dressing up as, like, yesterday's terrorist attack.
No, like today's. And so Ernie's like, and the winner of the costume contest is Alpha.
No, he doesn't. He's like, this guy.
That's true.
He's like, whoever you are. And then Bulk and Skull are like, yeah, we're going to figure out who you are. Skull, give me a can opener. And he just has one. He has one.
I mean, they just must be having, like, tuna every day.
That's true. There's no way they don't smell
it. And then Alpha's like, nope, you're not going to get me. And he just marches away.
But the girls follow him.
Yeah, he just got his entourage now. We're going to see them all in Zordon's face.
Oh man, they knew that the shot of Bulk and Skull in the Elvis costumes was too powerful. They had to tone everything else down.
That's an all-time great moment so far.
Oh man.
All right.
Good
episode. Not so bad. See you next time.